Hi, welcome to this overview of the Platinum interface. We're looking at two interfaces, in fact. The first interface, which automatically pops up on your chart, is this high-level interface, which you can move around anywhere on the chart, and obviously those settings will be maintained. So, for example, if you close the interface accidentally, all you've got to do is basically scroll through your time frames and it will reappear in the position it was previously. So once we're up and running, if we want to activate the Platinum main interface, just click Platinum, and this is your core Trendline configuration interface. And the first box is the Trendline combination box. What this does, it will scan all your active charts, or any charts which have the Platinum EA running on them, for the existence of trend lines, and if they exist, they will occur or appear in this drop down list here. When you actually want to configure a trend line, you simply just select it. If you want to then add an OCO order in, you can just click OCO, and you can then choose the trend line which you want to configure the OCO order against. OCO stands for one cancels the other, so basically whichever trend line is triggered first would cancel the OCO order against it. Obviously you've got a buy and sell action, and you have 6 different types of trading behavior. Touch-based trading behavior is where a trend line simply touches within the threshold parameters of a given trend line. Retrace is where the price action touches the threshold area within the trend line, retraces away from it, and then comes back again to test it within a specific time frame. Break touch is where the trend line is momentarily broken by price action. Doesn't necessarily mean it closes, it's taken place above or below the trend line. It's just basically an instantaneous break. We have a break close where the actual price action has closed above or below the trend line. A break close with a defined number of candles, that would be where the trader can define to take the trade after the break has happened and it's, say, 3 candles later. Then we also have a break close in a defined range where price action has basically broken the trend line and has closed within a defined range which the trader can specify. So those are your trading behaviors. We can specify obviously the lot size, the stop loss, the sensitivity, which is basically how you define the threshold, the trigger threshold around each trend line. So in this case I've got 2 pips, which would mean the trigger threshold will be plus and minus 2 pips either side of the trend line. We've got stealth mode, which basically cloaks the stop loss and take profit levels from your broker's server. We have show order joins, which basically joins orders with their associated stop loss and take profit levels graphically, so we can always track back which orders relate to which levels if we've got a complex scenario. Show grid shows a trigger grid prior to any trade execution, where the trader can basically align the stop loss and take profit levels with support and resistance factors, pivots, etc., etc. Email alerts is a new feature we've just added. This allows the trader to receive an email alert when any trades are opened. We can specify the maximum number of orders for each trend line. We can also specify the minimum interval between orders in minutes. We can define the maximum risk for each trade and for each trend line uniquely, so we can specify that as a percentage of account equity. We have controls over here on the right hand side. The scan chart option just simply scans all your active charts for any occurrence of trend lines. Purge trend lines deletes the actual trendline config file from the system. This is if you had a lot of trend lines and you just wanted to basically clear down the list, but the system takes care of quite a lot of that for you anyway, using a 60-second refresh facility on the global variable table. These grayed out controls here, we've got break controls. So if we basically go down to break close X candles, we can specify the break controls in here. So we can specify the number of candles. If we go down to break close and define range, you can now see the pip range is highlighted for us, and we can define the pip range where we want the trade to execute in. We have some retrace controls, and the retrace controls, you can specify the minimum number of periods and also the maximum number of candles where the retrace will occur. We also have profit controls, obviously, where we can specify a tiered approach to scaling out, and we can scale out based upon a defined number of pips and percentages, and we can configure up to 4 take profit levels. We also have display controls, where the trader can control all of the look and feel of the interface, how the actual levels are displayed and the trend lines are displayed on the chart, and we can control our grid, our targeting grid, in terms of take profit colors, stop loss colors, lengths and line styles, and we can also show or choose to show or hide the take profit and stop loss grid data. In the same way, we can control our lines, and that would include take profit levels, stop loss levels, the trend line color, the join color and styles, and also the take profit and stop loss line lengths. We can also control the take profit and stop loss data, whether it's displayed or not, and also configure whether those are displayed as rays, which extend into the future. And we have filter controls, where the trader can basically specify to filter against 5 oscillators, and they can choose a trigger zone where the trade will trigger. So in this case, we're saying we'll only take trades when the RSI is between 6 and 18. Obviously, those can be completely defined how you wish. There's a section here at the bottom called Profiles, and this allows the trader to basically save pre-configured setups so they can deploy them very quickly in the future using a couple of mouse clicks. So if I wanted to save a particular profile, I just give it a name in this box here, and then just click save, and then I can call on that profile very quickly anytime in the future with just 2 mouse clicks. So that's a quick overview of the interface. Thank you very much for listening.